welcome back to my channel. My name is Tshepiso and this is my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, also subscribe and put your comments down below because our conversation today is going to be very, on it. Yeah. So yes guys, welcome to my channel. So this is another episode of our series, our my mental health journey series, and we're doing another episode. So today I've got a special guest. I think all my guests are special, but I've got another special guest. As you can see, the energy is high. We're very excited for this episode actually. I believe that it's going to bring in a lot of healing. So if you do like it, please again remember to like the video, also share it. I think it's a word for someone out there. Yeah, so my guest today, Tshepiso, my name. Translated, how do you translate my name?
Oh, like my like squad.
Hey, yeah.
Okay, we have the same name, guys.
We have the same name, basically.
Name. Yeah.
So this is Tshepiso. I met Tshepi in 2018.
Actually, we were staying
in the same res.
Yeah. In my honors year, so we met in 2017.
In 2017, yeah. So we were staying in the same res in Pretoria East. And then in 2018, I put out an ad for a fundraising, a mental health awareness. It was October. It was actually October.
Look at God.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was October. So I put out an ad for mental health awareness hype, but I wasn't staying at the res anymore. I remember that part in 2018. We had all moved out actually. We were not there.
I remember.
So I put out an ad and then Tshepi was like, I'm there. It was for a hike. So we were at Fairy Glen Nature Reserve. We were doing a hike there. So yeah, Tshepi said, no, I'm definitely coming, and that's really how, from there we had each other on WhatsApp, and yeah, I think the relationship just grew from there. So I know Tshepi to be someone who's also very vocal about her journey, about healing. I do see you post a lot about mental health, so I really loved that about you. And when I decided to do this this series, I thought Tshepi is definitely somebody who needs to be on the channel, So that's how we came about. So yes, Tshepi here will introduce herself. She'll just tell us a little bit more about herself, so you guys can just know her before we get into the story. So please tell us, or tell the people more about yourself.
So, hi everyone.
Yes.
First of all, my name is Tshepiso Njikelane. I was born and raised in Atteridgeville. I am a child of God. I am a lover of life. I am a friend. I'm a sister. I am a daughter. And above all else, I am me. I am also a co-author of a book titled Women Who Win.
I didn't even know that.
I know, guys. Yeah. So my book was actually published in the US. So it hasn't yet launched the site, but I promise, guys, I'm gonna launch it.
Please. So thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I didn't even know I have an author in my presence. So I really want to get my hands on the book. Please do, and I'm sure our viewers definitely want the book. Okay. All right, so I'd like us to really get into the conversation for today. As you know, when I called you, it was really about mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know that you're definitely someone who advocates for awareness. You do want people to be very informed and know what's going on. So I think before we go any further, can you maybe just tell our viewers, or maybe just share your story? Like, what is your story? I mean, you mentioned now that you are you, and I loved that, because someone who can say I am me is someone who has a lot of self-awareness. You know who you are. You're so educated about who you are. So can you just tell us your story? Tell us about your mental health journey. Where did it start? Like, just tell us about yourself.
Okay. Sure. So I can say that I've always been on a journey of mental, health, because we are all human beings. We go through emotions, we go through phases in our lives that we are not aware of the impact that they may have in our lives, right? So I can say last year was the year whereby I became very intentional about exploring my mental health, right? So all along I didn't know. I was just like, no, I'm going through things and it's nothing deep and it's nothing, hectic. You get what I'm saying? So what happened is that I, just to give you a background about myself, I lost my dad in 2004. I was in grade 4. So my dad has been absent like for a very long time. However, I was raised by a stepdad, right? He was very good until something happened. Then that changed my relationship with him. So in essence, he was an abusive partner to my mom. So seeing him being that just threw me off, regardless of the many years in which he's always been part of our lives. But I felt like, you know what, for the effect that you're doing this to my mom,
it's
like,
going to be a problem.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So yes, that. And then so I can't base my mental health, but to a certain extent it has to do with not being raised by my own biological dad. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, so that part, I know, friend, that is
flames.
But anyhow, so to cut the long story short, guys, I moved to Cape Town last year, because of work. So I was seconded to the Cape Town office for like 18 months, right? So I found myself in a state whereby I was very lonely. Like, guys, there's a difference between being lonely and being lonely.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So which one were you?
I was lonely.
Lonely.
Like, literally, I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to be inside the house, work. That's all. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to answer calls. I didn't want to explain myself to anyone. I just wanted to be in my shell, and I was very comfortable in that. And that is not me. I'm a people's person. I love people and I feed from people's energy, right? But at the same time, I'm very selective of the people that I keep in my space. I found myself in that dark period and I didn't understand what was happening. And then I was also in a relationship with a guy. Isn't it always a guy?
These guys.
We love you.
Yes.
But this particular guy at the time, he was my former high school sweetheart. So we decided to, rekindle the relationship and, fix things.
Hey.
He's a monster.
That
relationship was only 3 months, but it was the longest relationship that I've ever been into.
Wait, 3 months in the high school phase or in the
last year, right?
And he was also in Cape Town.
No, he wasn't in Cape Town.
So
number one, long distance. But I told him when he came back in December of the previous year, I told him that, my darling, I'm going to Cape Town. And I'm gonna be there for a long time. Are you willing to be in a long distance relationship? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm comfortable. So the guy, January, it was nice. Calling, video calls, making sure that we keep each other. In the loop with what is happening with each other's lives. So fine, January, Feb, direct like at home. I would go to the beach and I would take pictures and send them to him, or post them on social media, and he will ask me who took the pictures. By the way, it's not Mandela's beach. It's not an exclusive. There's like thousands of people who can take pictures of me. That is one. 2, I would go to the movies. Like, there was a time where Avengers was playing. And Avengers, Marvel fans. It takes for like a very long time. So I went to watch that movie. It was on a Tuesday, I remember, after work, impulsively. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go watch a movie, because that's what I do. I went to watch Avengers. It was like amazing. It was proper. I get home around 11, and I call him. I'm like, baby, I'm home safely. And he's like, who did you go watch the movie with? I'm like,
hey, bro, can't I go on my own?
I've been doing this for a very long time. My boy, I'm educated. I'm liberated. I do on solo trips. Solo trips.
Because I see that a lot about you, and we'll get into
So the guy was like, there is no way that you went to watch a movie
alone.
And then, long story short, the relationship started becoming toxic because he made me feel like there's something wrong with being independent and doing things solo. And this is something that I've fought for a very long time because I've always been the person of waiting on other people to do things with, or always waiting for people's comments or thoughts on something that I want to do, or the way I dress or whatsoever. So long story short, guys, that relationship was very toxic. He was emotionally abusive. He made me feel like I wanted too much. You know, the standard is too high. And I was like, no, guys, I'm a reader. And I've read a book by Sarah Jakes called Don't Settle for Safe. And I was like, how come I read such things and then I live an opposite life? I'm like, guys, I'm gonna fetch my life. I'm gonna fetch my life. And I learned a lot from that relationship. So that happened, that relationship happened, and I was in a very dark space. Very dark space, because I didn't understand who I was. I couldn't even recognize myself. Like, I'm forever smiling. There were times where I'd take pictures of myself and I'd be like, dude, you are fake. That smile is not the one that I know. Imagine. That is how like deep it was, guys. I lost my smile, and that was a huge problem for me.
For you.
So fine, the months went. I eventually started settling down in Cape Town, and then I made friends, and I accepted my new reality that actually I'm here to make a living, and I want to enjoy as much as I can here, and not dwell so much on the past. And not dwell so much on me missing my family and the norm of, you know, being able to know, okay, sharp, I can go to State Theatre for this, I can go to wherever, you know. So I had to get out of my comfort zone and explore Cape Town, and that decision was, it was really helpful. And then 6 months later, I started seeing my therapist. Right? So that was based on the toxic relationship that I just came out of from, and also like the certain patterns, you know, that I realized as we spoke earlier about the kind of relationships and the kind of guys that I attract and the kind of guys that I settle for, and I didn't understand why is that
the same thing.
Exactly. I was like Bob the Builder, guys. I'm sorry, but I was tired of being Bob the Builder.
No, that's a job and a half. Dude, that is another job and a half. No, I've signed out of that tender. No, I've given it to someone else.
I'm tired of being Bob the Builder. Because it doesn't make sense, guys, especially as women, whereby you are trying to be more self-aware. You are trying to learn about yourself. You're trying to heal. You're trying to become a better version of yourself. And you attract somebody
you need to literally duplicate what you're doing on yourself to someone else. That's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm lazy anymore. I'm not coming anymore.
Good night.
So I went for therapy, and I was like, Mugele. So that's my therapist. I was like, but before that, guys, I had to pray about it because I had a very bad experience with therapy. So my first experience with therapy was when I was still here in Joburg in Midrand, right? So I called ICAS. So ICAS is a platform that we have at work. Whereby you can call them at any time and you can get assistance. Yes,
you know, psychological.
Yes, so you can vent, you can cry, you can do whatever that you want over the call, or you can opt for the option of like having a face-to-face therapy session. So I asked for a face-to-face therapy session with this lady, and I met her, and in the session it felt like an interview. It was a question and answer kind of a conversation. And I was like, guys, is this therapy? And then from then I had a stigma about therapy. I was like, hey guys, I don't want this anymore. Fine. Last year I was like, you know what, God, I'm gonna pray about this, and I'm gonna trust you to lead me to the right person, right? Who's gonna be able to assist me with this whole thing, right? So when I found my therapist, I was very happy because I told her from the word go that, Miguel, I don't want an interview.
So you set the standard.
I told her, I'm like, I've had a bad experience. I was like, I had a very bad experience, and I don't want an interview. I want to better understand myself and why do I do certain things the way I do them. Girl, we spoke about everything.
Yeah.
We spoke about the way I was raised. We spoke about the kind of, you know, guys that I attract
and why.
Yeah, and why, you know, the lack of self-confidence also, not being able to be vulnerable, my relationship with my sisters, with my mother, and all those kind of things. And it was the best thing that I've ever done for myself.
It's for yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, girl, that's where it started. I think last year was the year whereby I took action,
yeah.
and I was very intentional about my mental health.
Thank you so much for that description. I think, or the story rather. I think a lot of us can relate, because I think mental health, it comes in, it's not like just one part of your life that just, it's literally, it happens every single day within the lives that we have. So thank you so much for that. And I think a lot of us can relate to having those moments. I think maybe I would like to ask, because you mentioned that you've had experiences with therapy that were not so great, and then you went to this new session. So by the time you had gone to the second, the one last year, where was your mindset? Because yes, you mentioned that you wanted to you obviously had just come out of the toxic relationship and all of that, but I want to know, what were you feeling? You know, did you feel like I'm depressed? Did you feel like maybe I'm anxious? Did you start noticing things about yourself that made you say, I need to take charge and go there? And
100%.
And then was that the only form of therapy you took, or did you maybe also explore medication or other other things?
Me going to therapy was because I would feel overwhelmed. I will feel overwhelmed on like work. Especially work, because it was very hectic. But it was work, and it was like, maybe when someone shares a story with me and I felt like I have to assist them, I have to help them, I have to come up with a solution. My family, I felt like I was responsible for my family, and I had to be the solution and be everything that they can ever need, right? So I've always been a people's person, as I said, and people feed from my energy, you know, and I'm very, you know, very blessed and very grateful for that opportunity. You know, people see me as their role models. I'm not blowing my own horn, guys.
No, but
girl, you know, they see me as that person. They see me as that person. So even that can be not draining, but it takes a lot from one.
It does take a lot.
It takes a lot from one.
You feel like you're on a pedestal, like people have put you on a pedestal, and you need to live up
the whole time.
Live up to that. You can't make mistakes. You have to be strong. Okay,
100%.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to be that. But above all else, I also started having like panic attacks. Like whereby I can't breathe properly, or I'm drowsy or something like that. And I was like, no man, there's something wrong. You know, there's something wrong. This is not me. So that is when I was like, you know what, fine, let me just go for therapy and like seek assistance. So after the various sessions that I had with my therapist, I saw that the anxiety is still there, right? The feeling overwhelmed, the feeling of like, you know, shaking, you know, not being able to sleep, overthinking, lack of appetite, you know, you name it. And when I was at work, I was like, you know what, let me just Google these symptoms. I don't understand, what are they?
And I was like,
the Google doctor, I was like, anxiety symptoms. Out of 10 of those, Miguel, I ticked most of the boxes, right? I went to my doctor and I was like, doctor, I'm not okay. I Googled recently what the anxiety symptoms are, right? And then he's like, okay, how are you feeling? I was like, everything that was listed there, that's exactly how I felt, right? I was no longer myself. I was no longer confident. And he added, is like, you don't even have appetite, you can't sleep. And I was like, you are spot on, right? And it's like, okay, cool. So normally when someone has anxiety, we put them on antidepressants. I was like, whoa, doctor, I'm not depressed.
You must run.
I'm not depressed. I don't want to die. Like, I don't want to die. I want to live for the longest. It's like, no, my girl, like, calm down.
Relax.
Don't worry. Now we treat the anxiety the same manner in which we treat depression, right? So I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yes. So this is not like a thing that is gonna make you go gaga or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just to balance
the stigma, guys.
balance
your
chemical
in the brain.
Yeah, what the chemicals in the brain.
Or what?
Yeah, he mentioned big words, guys, but I don't remember. But that's what he said, and that really helped me because he took me through it. He was like, you know what, don't be too hard on yourself, and don't think that this is like you are dying or something. No, you're not suicidal. It's fine, but you struggle with anxiety, and you have to take these pills in order for you to be able to balance. And then he also gave me like anxiety pills that assisted me, especially when I couldn't function at work.